Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about the tree behind me. It's Daisey Mandarins. Hi everybody, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and you're joining us today on a really kind of a crisp Saturday afternoon. It's about a week before Christmas, a little over a week before Christmas. We're on December 16th. It's about 60 degrees out here, a little breezy. We may finally get some rain tomorrow, but kind of wanted to give you an idea of kind of the time of year and what we've got going on behind me. So what we're showing you today is we're showing you our Daisey Mandarin. Our Daisey Mandarin is actually the first mandarin tree that we put into the ground. This one, like some of our other plantings that we've shown you, and you may hear our rooster crowing in the background. That's Warrior, our rooster. But this is the first mandarin tree we planted. We got this tree from Reed at RSI Growers. We've talked about them before. If you want to, I'll link the video actually of us planting some of his apple trees earlier this year. This tree we planted about, I think it was about a year and a half ago. It was tiny. He was about 2 feet tall or so, maybe about a foot wide when we put him in the ground. And you can see, well, he's taller than I am, so he's up about probably a good 7 feet, maybe 7 to 8 feet, and he's probably about the same distance across. So we have him back up against the wall. This wall is actually our east-facing wall, so it gets morning sun, afternoon shade. So these trees do really good in kind of cooler weather. So you can see, and actually it's one of the first trees that is ripe as we get into our citrus season, which we're really just starting to hit. So now with the exception of limes and lemons, this is actually the first tree that we've had produced for us that has a sweet citrus, and it's very, very sweet. So, but before I get too much more into the actual fruit itself, I want to talk a little bit more about the tree. So one of the things that when you're dealing with citrus is they don't necessarily need to be pruned. It's designed to grow like this, to grow more like a bush. It'll continue to get kind of wide and tall. We've got it actually back in here with a few other varieties of mandarins. So we won't talk too much more about those today, as we're going to focus on the Daisey, which is actually right now ripe for us. But we've got it back in here kind of socked in with other varieties. Now the tree itself, like I said, doesn't necessarily need to be pruned. However, from a space standpoint, we really kind of have these in here really tight. Obviously, we've got an acre here, so we've got plenty of space, but these trees can be kept pretty small and compact. So for those of you who are on a smaller space and not on a larger like acre or more acreage, you can put these in the back of your property and they'll actually fit in kind of a clump. So I don't have more than about 5 or 6 feet between each one of these trees, and they're doing very, very good as far as growth. So back to Daisey. So the Daisey Mandarins. Daisey Mandarins are a seeded variety of mandarins. Size-wise, I'll pick one for you here in just a second, but it's about the size of a baseball. So a little bigger than some of the other mandarin varieties. Again, it is seeded. However, one note when it comes to seeded versus unseeded, we have 14 different citrus trees here on the property. Most of them are back here in the corner. And citrus trees, when you have them mixed together, whether they're seeded or not, because they cross-pollinate each other, generally speaking, you're going to get seeded fruit. So I anticipate, even though some of these varieties are seedless, we'll probably still get some seeds. We've had a couple of these we just started picking this week. They are extremely sweet, but there's a seed in every single one of the little slices. So I'm going to have Lori kind of slide in here a little bit closer. We're going to pick one of these so you can actually see what it looks like. So you can see we've got a couple of them that are in kind of clusters. So there's a small cluster here. However, one of the things that we do with all of our citrus trees, and actually all of our fruit trees in general, is we do thin them. So as we get clusters when they're very, very small, once they're the size of, I'm going to say maybe a large marble, so we know that they've taken really good and they've been pollinated, we take and we thin them out. So you can see we got a double here. I might have another double or two going out throughout the tree, but for the most part, they're singles and doubles. It helps to keep the tree from losing and breaking branches, because they do get very heavy, because there's a lot of juice in here. But earlier I was in here and I found one that's kind of medium size, so I'm going to pick that one. So this is a ripe Daisey Mandarin. One of the things about citrus, when you get citrus in the grocery stores, citrus in the grocery stores obviously has traveled. Even if it's fairly local, it's going to be at least several days old, if not a few weeks old. And of course, we get citrus from all over the world. A lot of times citrus, especially when in our off season, comes from Australia, because they're opposite of us. But one of the things about mandarins, this one is obviously is the first variety we've had on this farm, and it is one of the earlier ones. One of the things that we like to do with our multiple varieties, we've got the 6 varieties of mandarins. We chose those specifically because they actually are going to ripen over time. So you're going to get what's called successive ripening, which simply means that they don't all ripen at once, so you extend your season. And again, like we talked about, you can plant them pretty close together. So in the end, you may lose the varieties which are seedless, you may lose that seedless aspect to them. However, you're going to get that ripening over time. So that's what we're counting on with our mandarins. So mandarins, obviously, easy to peel. These guys, I'm just going to use my finger. Super, super easy. And obviously, I just picked them, so this is as ripe as it gets. So it's not going to be that kind of easy peel, and I'm going to leave the peels here because that's what we do. We compost in place. But, oh my goodness, the juice is going all over my hands. But still pretty easy to peel. And very, very juicy. And if, I don't know how, I'll probably have to come up so you can actually see this, but in the end you can see, I'm not sure if you can see kind of through that, but there's kind of seeds throughout. But super easy to peel and really, really, really juicy. So I'm going to try some. Seeds. Nice part about getting fruit fresh off your trees, you just spit the seeds on the ground. But juicy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I mean, that's really good. So, what does this taste like? It tastes like a mandarin. It tastes like a cutie. I mean, if you've ever had cuties before, cuties are mandarins of different types. That's essentially what I'm eating. It's bigger, as you can see, is about a little smaller than the size of a baseball, maybe the size of a tennis ball, but very, very juicy. It's got a little bit of tanginess, but man, not much. It's basically just sweet, but a mellow sweet. It's not a tart sweet, not that tangy sweet you get sometimes, but just like a really smooth sweetness. Very, very juicy. Just a really, really good piece of fruit. So I got to share this with the camera lady, but wanted to kind of show you guys this. Oh, so one more thing I wanted to say about mandarins before we let you guys go is when these are ripe, obviously, I think the God's design in all of this, as far as when things are ripe, when we can eat them, and kind of the seasons and the change of seasons. We get fruit at different times of the year, and the way we set up our orchard, we've got ripening, basically something ripening all year. Every single month of the year, once all of our fruit trees are in full production, we'll have fruit ripening every single month. So it's interesting that you get certain things that are ripe at certain times. So here we are in the middle of winter, well, almost winter. Our trees are finally going dormant. We're 4 or 5 days away from winter, and they're just about to go dormant finally, and starting to lose their leaves. But what I think is interesting about citrus is, citrus we already know is very, very high in vitamin C. Not that other things aren't, they are, but it's really kind of known for that. And I think it's interesting that when we go into the wintertime, when all of us kind of struggle with, having colds or having flus, but our immune systems get compromised for one reason or another. We don't get as much sunlight, which I'm a firm believer in vitamin D and its ability to help with the immune system. But what I think is interesting about citrus is ripe in the middle of winter. So here we are, we're going into winter in 4 or 5 days. We're a week out of Christmas, and we've got these wonderful orange fruit that are just now starting to come into season and getting ripe, and giving us extremely important nutrients specifically for our immune systems, which a lot of us struggle with this time of year. I just think it's interesting that these would be ripe at that perfect time when your body actually needs it, and I don't think it's a mistake. So, but either way, I just wanted to share that with you guys. But ultimately, Daisey Mandarins, especially if you live here in Arizona, so in our climate, there's only a handful of states that can grow citrus. If you can't, I'm sorry. We can, so I guess you can live vicariously through us with citrus. But if you're here in Arizona, strongly suggest a mandarin tree if you don't already have one. Again, limited space, you can still do it, so highly recommend it. So just want to thank you all for joining us today. This has been Dwayne and Lori reminding you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. So if Lori wants to squeeze in, we're going to look in a little more detail at the... we're going to need to take a break. Hi everybody, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you today on kind of a brisk Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. It's not Saturday morning. This is not good. I'm gonna be laughing the whole time. All right. Hi everybody. Today we're gonna be talking about these two little orange balls of sunshine, or nothing. You don't like balls of sunshine? I don't know what's wrong with me. Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about two balls of sunshine. Hi everybody, today you're going to get your double dose of vitamin C. This is just uncomfortable. Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about something really exciting. These two little orange things. Okay, yeah.
Our first mandarin tree.
Okay, yeah.